Quebec City is truly one of the most fascinating cities in North America. As one of the oldest cities on the continent, Quebec City is considered to be the continent's most European-looking city. I tend to appreciate all cities, but some are simply on a different level when it comes to how interesting they are, and Quebec City is certainly in that category. In this series, I briefly cover a city's history, population, skyline, as well as a few things that make the city unique. Now let's meet Quebec City. I always like to start by exploring how a city wound up being where it is today. Quebec City is located where the St. Lawrence River narrows at the confluence of the St. Charles River. The area had long been home to various First Nation tribes, and the first European contact was in 1535 when Jacques Cartier sailed down the St. Lawrence River in hopes of seeking a trade route to Asia. It wasn't until 1608 that Samuel de Champlain set up a fortified fur trading post which grew into a settlement and was the first permanent base in Canada. The cliffs of Quebec combined with the narrowing of the St. Lawrence River made Quebec a strategically important settlement and later the capital of New France. In 1690, Quebec's famous fortification walls were built, which makes Quebec the only remaining city on the continent north of Mexico that is still surrounded by walls. As Britain and France fought for control of North America, the city was besieged 5 times and eventually conquered by the British during the Battle of the Plains of Abraham in 1759. That battle essentially led to the end of New France and the beginning of British Canada, although the city still retains much of its French identity today, with French still being the official language. Quebec later became a port city and then eventually the capital of the province of Quebec. Today, Quebec City has a population of around 542,000, which makes it the 8th largest city in Canada, behind Winnipeg, Manitoba, and ahead of Hamilton, Ontario. If you've watched many of my other videos, you'll know that I think metro population is a better indicator of a city's true size, and Quebec City has a metro population of around 840,000, making it slightly larger than Winnipeg. If comparing to cities in the US, Quebec City would be the 71st largest metro in the US, being comparable in size to another historic city, Columbia, South Carolina. Quebec City is home to several colleges and universities, most notably University Laval, which has about 42,000 students and is the first French language university in North America. Call me shallow, but when it comes to cities, I think appearances matter, which is why evaluating a city's skyline is one of my favorite parts of making these videos. Quebec has a very unique skyline. It's not an impressive skyline in the way that most skylines would be considered impressive. It doesn't have many tall buildings, and its tallest buildings are too spread out to come together as a cohesive skyline. However, its historic buildings make it immediately recognizable, and I think it's a beautiful city. If you took the average height of Quebec's tallest 5 buildings, it would be ranked as the 9th tallest skyline in Canada, being just shorter than Hamilton and just taller than Halifax. The tallest building in the skyline is the Edifice Murray-Gaillard, which stands at 132 meters or 433 feet tall. Although it's not the tallest building in the city, the building that dominates the skyline is the Chateau Frontenac Hotel. It's the most photographed hotel in the world, and I can certainly understand why. I love how the hotel is designed like a fortress, with 5 turreted wings of the hotel surrounding the central tower. The hotel was built in 1893 by the Canadian Pacific Railway and was one of the first of the Grand Railway hotels. Its fortress-like design and unique architectural styles, combined with its location on the Quebec cliffs, makes it one of the most iconic buildings on the continent. Between the hotel and the cliffs is a popular boardwalk known as Dufferin Terrace, which has a funicular that takes you down to the oldest portion of the city, Place Royale. As I mentioned earlier, Quebec City is one of the oldest European settlements in all of North America, and Place Royale creates the feeling that you really are in a city over 400 years old. The famous square was originally a busy marketplace, which is now flanked by beautiful stone buildings. Place Royale's stone church, the Notre Dame des Victoires Church, is the oldest stone church in North America. On the other side of the funicular from Place Royale is Petit Champlain, which is one of the oldest shopping streets on the continent. Now, as much as I appreciate the Chateau Frontenac Hotel and the history of Place Royale, the unique aspect of Quebec City that I get most excited about are the old walls surrounding the city. The walls total 4.6 kilometers in length and surround Old Quebec's upper town. The walls and the rest of Old Quebec were the first urban ensemble in North America to be designated as a UNESCO World Heritage Site. On the south side of the city's fortifications and just north of the Plains of Abraham is the Citadel of Quebec. Following the Revolutionary War, the British wanted to secure their northern colonies from an American attack, so they built this heavily fortified citadel between 1820 and 1850. It's the largest British fort in all of North America and is still a working military base today. Spanning the St. Lawrence River is the Quebec Bridge, which was the longest clear-span bridge in the world when it opened in 1919. This massive bridge is 987 meters long and is 29 meters wide. It still has the longest cantilever bridge span in the world at 549 meters. Just outside of the walls of Old Quebec is the Parliament Building of Quebec. It's a beautiful building built in the Second Empire architectural style, which is the same style as one of my favorite buildings in the world, the Philadelphia City Hall. From January to March, Quebec becomes the home of the only ice hotel in North America. The hotel is made entirely of snow and ice, with ice walls up to 4 feet thick. The hotel even has large common areas such as a grand hall, a chapel, an ice slide, and even a bar. And I'll finish by mentioning that near Quebec is the magnificent Montmorency Falls, which is about 50% taller than Niagara Falls at 87 meters or 272 feet in height. Well, that wraps up my video about Quebec City. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a like and check out some of my other videos about cities. And if you have a city you'd like to see an overview on, let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching.